Hello, everybody. This is 3SP, and I'm coming to you with an update. I'm coming a little bit late because I've been having camera problems for about a month now. So it's been hindering me from even putting up videos. So to go over what happened with the Trump tax reform, which is better called tax cuts, where they knocked down corporate tax from 35%, even up to 40%, all the way down to 20%. And what benefit this is for our nation is that because of there being a lower tax rate now for the corporations, they're going to actually, there's room now to not just grow, but for more businesses to be created and for more jobs to be created. We see since the election, since Trump won the office of president, that the stock market has been rallying. They've been calling it the Trump stock rally. And it's over this excitement about Trump creating these tax cuts, the tax cuts that he was talking about on the campaign trail. And this has been positively affecting our economy. And what economists call the time during Obama's presidency, they're actually now calling that an Obama era depression because we were having either negative growth or the best growth we had over any quarter during Obama's presidency was 1% growth. And when they averaged out the numbers, it came out to like 0.3% growth over every quarter of his presidency. These are the same numbers that happened during the Great Depression. And also there's been a lot of smudging of the numbers of like unemployment rates and things like that, where they were saying that there was like 5-6% unemployment, or the most that was ever admitted to was 12% unemployment in the nation. But over real analysis and uh real polls, it was showing that unemployment for years was hanging around 23 to 26%. Those are the same numbers as the Great Depression. So again, it's more accurate to call the time of Obama's presidency the Obama Great Depression. And during the Trump campaign, when he was promising 3% and 4% growth rates and millions of jobs being added, one criticism that President Obama had of candidate Trump was, where are these jobs going to come from? Where's all this growth and all this money going to come from? And Trump, he just basically flat out said, I'm going to cut regulations and I'm going to cut taxes. And that's what caused the market rally excitement for President Trump, was the promise of cutting regulations and taxes. So when he won the White House, the stock market instantly soared. And that's why we're seeing this economic rally happening right now. That unemployment is the lowest it's been in 17 years. And right now, consumer confidence in our country is the highest it's ever been in American history. So this definitely is a great time for the economy in the United States. But we also see that there is a deep state attack against our president and the current administration to try to intimidate not just the president and his administration, but his supporters into backing off of this new American awakening. So we see that they just got Michael Flynn an indictment. So he's indicted right now, and he's given full cooperation to the FBI. And during this time, Trump made the announcement that he's not worried about whatever Michael Flynn says. And that's because he knows that there was no collusion. This is a myth that was created by the Hillary Clinton campaign, that there was Russian collusion. Now, Trump was the one that was the squeaky wheel that squeaked the loudest, talking about how the election is rigged. The election is rigged. And the Democrats basically cried foul the whole time, said there's no way any American election can be rigged. And what we're seeing now, because of further digging into the Russian collusion, that during the investigations, the Uranium One deal has been uncovered, where the not just Hillary Clinton, but different Democrats and Obama have all worked together to sell 20% of the United States uranium to the Russians. So, as Trump is letting himself and his administration be investigated for Russian collusion, it just keeps digging up more dirt on the Washington establishment, showing that the Russian and Chinese collusion has always been there and that Trump nor his administration has been a part of it. And what further shows it is every time they try to investigate one of Trump's cabinet members, that they eventually have to get them on either tax evasion or lying to the FBI because they cannot find an honest connection. And what we see happen yesterday with ABC News is that as soon as Michael Flynn was indicted, they put out the false news story knowingly, saying that Michael Flynn was ordered by President-elect Trump before he took office. Well, before he won the office. So basically, candidate Trump told Michael Flynn to make contact with the Russian ambassador and to not be offended by the different political attacks that are being made against them. And this was totally untrue, and it caused the stock market to plunge about 5 points, I heard. And with that, ABC had to make a retraction the next day saying that that wasn't true, that the contact with the Russian ambassador was made after, meaning during the incoming presidency. So it was a total lie, and it was meant to discredit the president and to make supporters and non-supporters turn against the president and to come against this market rally and this economic rally that's backing up this positivity that's following our president and the tax cuts. And it didn't work because there's so many people, there's so many patriots, there's even people that don't support President Trump that was able to dig in and find this to be false information. And because of alternative media sources and people that don't trust the mainstream media, we're pushing so hard to get the truth out that mainstream media has to capitulate to the truth, that the mainstream media has to admit where it's wrong now. And this is how our free market republic democracy system is working now, is that we have the internet at our fingertips and we are able to hold media companies, politicians, corporate executives, we're able to hold their feet to the fire, that as soon as we see them being dishonest, we're able to spread the truth at the speed of light. As quick as our fingers can touch a screen is how fast truth and lies can be spread. But that's the whole thing about truth, is we have to stand up for truth. We have to stand up for our country. We can't capitulate to the extreme leftists calling everything racist when they're the ones that are separating people by races, classes, and genders, and splitting up people in their own groups, and what they call safe spaces are ended up becoming ghettos of oppression for different groups of people. And that's not what our nation's supposed to be about. We're supposed to be one nation under God, indivisible, not a bunch of divided groups in their own little ghettos. fighting against each other. That's what the old Roman motto was, divide and conquer. And we have to fight this divide and conquer. Even Martin Luther King himself said that a house divided against itself shall not stand. We need to come back together as a country. We need to surrender ourselves back under God as one nation, because that's where our prosperity comes from, is understanding that we are a nation that serves our God and that we work hard and that we manifest. We manifest mercy and grace in this world because we believe our God. Now, now we see that the more that the mainstream media tries to fight this administration, the more that they look like liars, because they are. And the only people supporting them are the people that rather see this country destroyed. So, again, we've been promised that we're going to win so much that we're going to get sick of winning. But I'm telling you right now that I'm not sick of winning right now. I'm not sick of winning. Since the election, I've got a new job and I get paid. I get paid more than what I was getting paid before, and there's been other job offers coming my way. I'm not an extremely skilled person, but they're now having to raise wages because there's so much production coming forth in the country right now that they're willing to pay double and triple minimum wage for workers now. And for the last, I would say almost 10 years, which I've been married for about 10 years. I got married in 2008. I've been on and off working for minimum wage and then having to find odd jobs and little things that I know how to do on the side to make up the difference to try to pay every bill I could. And not only did I have to do that, my wife had to do that, and we had to work together just to make almost enough money to get by. We haven't been getting by. This is the first full year that we're able to make it just on my income alone. Even though I do work overtime and I do work hard, I'm able to provide with for my family, whether my wife keeps a job or not. And that's a great feeling. And that's because of the confidence of this country in the market at the current time. And we have to defend this market. We have to defend this move that's coming right now that's been promised to us. Not only have we been promised that if we tear down the regulations that have been holding back the free market system, that prosperity would follow, but also that if we who are called by God's name would just humble ourselves and pray and repent and turn from our evil and wicked ways, that God would rebuke the devourer and he would heal our land. And that's the time we're in right now. It's the time that our land is being healed. So I could go further into this, but I'm going to just back off right now because I'm feeling good about what's happening. We keep winning. And just the things that have been accomplished in this last presidential year is enough for the presidency. Even if something did happen to our president, let's say he did get removed, he did get impeached, or God forbid, he got assassinated. If any of those things happen, just the things that have been accomplished thus far are enough to get us by for the next two presidencies. So, one other thing I wanted to touch on. Also, with this reform, the tax cuts, they've also put in the bill, they removed the mandate, the individual mandate of Obamacare, which requires you to pay a penalty for not having insurance. And the reason why I'm so happy about that is because I don't have insurance this year. And 2016, I was under Obamacare, and Obamacare didn't cover anything. It didn't help. I couldn't even see a doctor without coming out of hundreds of dollars, meaning I just didn't have enough money to see a doctor. So the people that are fighting for Obamacare, you're just fighting for corporate monopolies to set prices on healthcare that no one can afford. if they were really truly honest about universal health care, they would fight for the funding of Medicaid for all Americans, because Medicaid insurance is actually really good insurance. But to digress, it's an awesome time to be alive. And this is an exciting time. And yes, there are some politically scary events that have been happening. And I'm not just saying that I'm a Trump fanboy, because there's certain things that I don't like. I don't like that he signed for us to stay in war in Afghanistan. I don't like that. And, there's a couple other things that I don't agree with. But overall, what we're seeing in our nation right now is what we needed. It's the pendulum swinging back from far left to now it's coming back this way. That's the way you keep balance. The pendulum has to swing, because if not, it's going to flip over and crash. So, anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it. This is 3SP signing out.